Prince Harry versus Boeing, the Invictus Games controversy that shocked everyone. The Invictus Games were supposed to be about resilience, recovery, and honoring wounded veterans. But instead, the 2025 edition has become a battlefield, one not fought on the playing field, but in the court of public opinion. And at the center of it all, Prince Harry, Boeing, and a debate that has torn apart the very community the Games were meant to celebrate. What started as a moment to uplift injured service members has spiraled into a heated war of words, corporate backlash, and accusations of hypocrisy. So what exactly went down? Let's break it all down. Prince Harry's public attack on Boeing. Prince Harry has never shied away from controversy, but this time, he may have picked a fight too big to win. During a recent speech promoting the Invictus Games, the Duke of Sussex made an unexpected jab at Boeing, the global aerospace giant and major sponsor of the event. Harry questioned the ethics of a defense contractor sponsoring an event that celebrates the recovery of veterans, many of whom were injured in wars where Boeing-manufactured weapons were used. How can a company that profits from war be the face of healing? He asked, igniting a firestorm. His remarks weren't just a passing comment, they were a direct challenge to one of the biggest names in the defense industry. Boeing, which has been a long-time supporter of veteran rehabilitation programs, took immediate offense. Boeing's CEO hits back, "We defend nations, we don't start war." Within hours, Boeing's CEO, Kelly Ortberg, fired back with a forceful defense of the company. Boeing is not in the business of war profiteering. We are in the business of defense and security. We provide the tools nations need to protect their sovereignty and their citizens. And we are proud of our contributions to the safety and security of the free world. Ortberg then doubled down, emphasizing Boeing's long-standing investment in programs that help veterans transition to civilian life. We have been committed to supporting veterans for decades, long before Prince Harry got involved in this space. To question our integrity is not just unfair, it's offensive to the very men and women who have benefited from our programs. The response was swift and brutal. And it didn't stop there. Veterans and corporate leaders turn on Harry. Almost immediately, veterans who had directly benefited from Boeing's support expressed their disappointment with Harry's remarks. Many pointed out that Boeing has invested millions in rehabilitation programs, scholarships, and career transition opportunities for former military personnel. A former U.S. Marine, who lost his leg in combat and later found employment through Boeing's veteran hiring initiative, voiced his frustration. It's easy to stand on a podium and criticize. But what Harry doesn't realize is that companies like Boeing actually put their money where their mouth is. They don't just talk about supporting veterans, they do it. Without them, I wouldn't have the career I have today. It wasn't just veterans who took issue with Harry's comments. Defense officials and corporate leaders slammed the prince for what they called an irresponsible and uninformed attack. One senior defense analyst put it bluntly. If Harry has a problem with Boeing's sponsorship, maybe he should personally foot the bill for the Invictus Games. Let's see how long that lasts. That particular challenge sparked another conversation, one that might be even more damaging to Harry's reputation. The hypocrisy argument. What about Harry's own corporate ties? Critics were quick to point out that Prince Harry himself has partnered with major corporations that have complex ethical histories. Netflix, which has a multi-million-dollar deal with Harry and Meghan, has faced backlash for controversial content, including glorifying violent historical events. BetterUp, the mental health startup where Harry serves as Chief Impact Officer, has been scrutinized for its business practices, particularly its treatment of lower-level employees. And yet, Boeing was the only company Harry chose to single out. The hypocrisy was not lost on the public. Social media exploded with reactions, many pointing out the glaring contradiction. So it's okay for Harry to take millions from corporations with questionable histories, but Boeing can't sponsor a veterans event? Harry is fine with Netflix cashing in on his trauma, but suddenly Boeing is the villain? The hashtag hypocrite Harry began trending, adding even more fuel to the fire. Should Harry put his money where his mouth is? One of the most significant consequences of Harry's remarks is the financial fallout for the Invictus Games. If Boeing pulls out as a sponsor, it could leave a massive hole in the budget. Some defense officials have already suggested that if Harry is so opposed to Boeing's involvement, he should personally fund the Games. It's a suggestion that has put the prince in a difficult position. On one hand, standing by his words would mean finding alternative funding, which is no small feat. On the other hand, if he backtracks and accepts Boeing sponsorship, it will only further damage his credibility. For now, Harry has remained silent on whether he will address the financial implications of his comments. But one thing is clear, the controversy isn't going away anytime soon. The bigger picture: corporate sponsorship in philanthropy. At the heart of this debate lies a much bigger question. Should defense contractors be allowed to sponsor veteran rehabilitation events? Some argue that it's inherently contradictory for a company profiting from war to sponsor an event for those wounded in combat. Others contend that these corporations have a responsibility to support the very individuals their industries impact. It's not a new debate, but Harry's comments have brought it into the mainstream once again. As the controversy unfolds, the future of the Invictus Games hangs in the balance. Will Boeing remain a sponsor? Will Harry take financial responsibility? Or will this incident leave a lasting stain on the very event he worked so hard to build? One thing is certain: this is a battle that won't be won on the playing field. What do you think? Should Boeing be allowed to sponsor the Invictus Games, or was Harry right to call them out? Let us know in the comments.